in the intro, I talked about the IPCC that was able to prove in 2021 that there's a direct link between human activities and climate change, and just a gradual increase of warming, I suppose, around the planet. But it's causing problems with the infrastructure of the planet in terms of storms, seasons being more unpredictable than ever before, and even in Europe we've seen that. And what people don't realise is that it really, I don't think it can be reversed. I don't know if you think that's the case. We can slow the issue, we can slow the warming, or we can neutralise it. There's got to be a lot of work for the world, really, whether it's consumers or whether it's certainly businesses, in things like electrification, moving more to a mass, really, of clean and renewable energies as well. Do you sort of believe that's going to help the slide at all?
Well, my area of interest is of course, the Arctic. And the Arctic is being disproportionately hit by changes in weather and changes in temperature over time. It appears that the temperature increases are higher there than the global average. And that can become a bit of a self-perpetuating system, because the more, let's talk about sea ice on top of the oceans, the more sea ice that melts, the more water, of course, you have in between the chunks of ice. And that water is dark. The ice is light in color. And that it has a distinct effect on how the sunlight, which is then beating down on it, is absorbed. So in the past, the ice would, of course, reflect lots of light and therefore heat, and would actually reflect that back up into the atmosphere again and hopefully away to somewhere else. Now that you have a great deal more ocean exposed to the sunlight, that is heating up faster and faster, because that dark water, that dark surface, is absorbing more light energy. So the Arctic does seem to be disproportionately affected. Now, in terms of what's causing what and whether things can be reversed or not, there are obviously 1,000 question marks, and I'm slightly reticent to join the ranks of certain activists who have decided that they know the answer to that, and everything is either going to be an absolute disaster, or on the flip side, it's all absolute nonsense. There's a little bit too much certainty from some camps. But I think that there's little controversy to say that there are probably two things at play here. First of all, the planet is not a static environment. The planet, over millions and millions of years, has been doing strange things. It's been going up and down in temperature. There are obviously our entire world changes shape through across tens of millions of years. All sorts of things that happen outside of our control. But it's fairly clear that we have been, let's say, soiling our nest. We have not been behaving well. Now, a lot of that happened long before we realized that it was a bad idea. So perhaps people who were trying to improve human existence back during the Industrial Revolution can be forgiven. I don't believe that they were evil, selfish people. What they were trying to do was develop humanity. Now, we're in a situation where it's quite clear now that what we have done is contributed to, accelerated, and maybe diverted the state of the world that would have been the case if we were not here. And so we need to make some changes. Can we reverse what's been done? Who knows? Do we want to reverse what's been done? Possibly. Do we want to slow what's going on so we can actually get a real handle on how big the problem is? I think yes. I think that allowing something to almost run away like an out of control locomotive is by definition going to be a bad idea. But there are so many other reasons why it's a good idea to stop burning things and cutting things down and reducing habitat for wildlife. There are so many reasons, completely aside from our global temperature, as to why that's a really bad idea. So I think most people can get on board with the idea that it's a good plan for us to look at our actions, look at our behavior, and decide a better way forward.